Zeta's success.
Yeah, this is going to be a brutal game. Again, that fairy tale we saw really hit for Zeta. It's always so poignant. But it does seem to be the exception to the rule. However, we already have a good start. 10 are going to get things started, and we want to see a big performance from 10. He needs to have a heated game, especially, as you noted, with the composition tailoring towards that. As it stands, first pick, and the tempo gets held.
Spike now regrouping towards short. Less hasn't been given a peek just yet, but Depp is unnoted. Actually, the wall's going to cut that off as well. Got to be careful here. Second smoke goes up, and actually Sugar Zero able to catch a headshot onto Pancada.
How many rotations does this pull? It was only a spot on one.
Actually, with the deep position on long, I'm curious as to why they've sent that. Loud will actually find themselves a favourable numbers advantage here on A site. Depp slowly making his way back here, but
the window's closing.
Yeah.
And the rotation's going to be, maybe not going to be at least at the forefront of the hit, but the fight comes out well for less. Carve some space and 10's removed, so back to a 4v4. Spike going to be planted, I don't doubt that's going down. Depp, though, happy to dive in, put life on the line for this. Pancada a little lower. Boombot there, do they swing this? Not yet.
Crow's actually still posted up. He actually gets dealt with. Depp will find his second now, though, and actually...
How's Depp standing?
How?
Finally goes down. Pancada the last one there, and a little bit of an up and over from Sugar Zero. And they do work this one out. I was amazed that Depp kept his life for that long.
I mean, they played it very cautiously around the Boombot, actually. I was saying the Cloudburst cutting off one of the angles there, but I think Loud are just so scared to dig any deeper.
Yeah.
Crow at this point, unnoted, I think, finally dealt with by Pancada, but great round from Depp, actually. Just getting ahead of this smoke.
They're even just holding this.
Yeah, completely. Wow. Getting away with murder, actually coming away from that. Nobody even anticipating the possibility, but a nice opener from 10 here. Immediate pick off the Rift outside Showers, and as you noted, really slowed things down.
Good for confidence building too. If you're going to go for a composition like this, you have to play to what it entails, what it means. Those agents do lend to aggression. They don't stand the test of time when they elongate these rounds. So for them, they have to keep being somewhat proactive. We go back in though. We do see the sheriffs coming out, so no armor behind it, not too much utility either, very much a bare basics here coming out for Loud, but we've seen already plenty of damage can be achieved with these sheriffs.
Actually, the Phantom in hand. Deb. 10 trying to get back outside Showers of that fault line as well, but no damage actually comes through.
Ooh, they crept up so quick to the steps, very aware, and Crow's trying to be in pretty much a complementary position, maybe get contact and slip CT if he does feel as though he's lost that, but they need to be really cautious on this timing. If they leave this gap open, there's the first spot, but one player's ahead. Aspas already there, Depp's in a little bit of danger, but he has full faith in his teammate, just focuses on what's in front of him, but he finally falls. That spins him down, and that's a 2-for-1 trade out. If that rifle got recovered, that could be an issue, and maybe it's an issue anyway. Utility invested now, the spike going down, a 3v3, and if they could get their hands on that gun, it would be wondrous, and oh my wordless, how did you just get to? Now Les, how is he still standing in this one? Les backing away here. This is so dangerous, Laz. Okay, he saved it, but barely, Mike. I mean, this is already, that's a warning throughout the rest of the game.
Absolutely. It just so happens that there's nothing really to secure, obviously, front sight control and retrieve that weapon.
If
that could have gone
Phantom
completely
got back
the other direction. I mean, even still came down to one. I think, actually, Laz taken 2 tags there with the Sheriff. Only 40 HP to drag that one across the line. A great round 2 from Loud, actually. I'm interested to see what Zeta's decision-making is here in terms of the purchase. The Phantom saved across, but whether or not everybody's even going to be able to get...
Oh, well, that's telling.
Just the one rifle, 2 Sheriffs and a Frenzy. So they're going to try and ride this out for round 4. Loud to keep this clean. Zeta actually has 4, looking to get very, very aggressive outside hooker.
Full commitment behind this too. The flash to follow, and they really want to crunch towards this. Sassy's in a little bit of danger, and Aspas going to try and bail him out, and he does do exactly that. Gets away with his life, and the follow-up flash will keep them tamed, but still, this is good early work to deal with this aggression. Loud, fully aware now, and sharp work coming out. Leaving the 2 danger players, the ones that had the rifles, or at least at the end, still standing, Depp being one of them, but irrelevant to the outcome of the round, it feels, at this point, as Loud so equipped to handle that.
Yeah, definitely. With the remaining credits, do want to see some damage, at the very least, but Loud, happy to wait this one out. I mean, there's still a minute left on the clock here. The swing punished. Asked for it to be clean, and it's a prime gaming flawless here for Loud. Really well handled. Again, these are the sorts of rounds that actually Zeta have to try and pull off, especially if they find themselves at a deficit here on the defense. They have to really take the initiative, take the fight to Loud.
Heard in the interviews they wanted pressure, Zeta feeling they thrive under it, but Loud, I feel just somewhat in the same. I don't think we've seen a bad look from Loud yet either. Keep in mind, obviously, this is a rematch already, one of the opening games earlier.
Well, actually, just to double down on that, Zeta are probably going to be feeling as if, yeah, we've got to switch up playstyle, right? If they came away from the first, feeling a little dishevelled, expect big changes on their side. Obviously, this comp leads into that as well. Aspas tasked. Clears the hook a little bit. A third player committed towards this B site hold again. This is 10 in Depp. Blade Storm in hand, actually, for Depp.
Clean opening work. That's devastating as well for Zeta, losing out so early on Sugar Zero, and that really shouldn't happen so comfortably. The deep paint shell comes in, and Aspas is just happy to take the space. It's pretty much, there is supporting utility behind it, but it is only really him dedicated to this so far. If they get another pick, I mean, Zeta will be in tatters.
Depp actually coming across now, but he's going to try and act upon, oh, well, I was going to say a flash from Crow, but with that molly going down, going to prevent any progress through CT. It's a double stack towards elbow.
But this late mid play as well.
Look how disconnected Les is.
Super ratty position, the timing should be fantastic for it as well. Lovely work from Les, very heads up, keeping control of the longer flank, but also the TP on audio cue. Now, on the other side of things, though, Zeta did finally get a bit of success. Crow to take down Sadak, and the burst towards the site. One favourable kill, but it's instantaneously traded back. And again, the last two players for Zeta already tagged up in the time being purchased perfectly. And Laz looking good at it, but still he's got to get a move on. Pancada just playing the time here, slipping away towards long. Flash gonna come out, does not quite find him. They're running out of time, and they're running out of options here, Mike. It's just Laz alive, and it does not matter. Loud, with just keys to the castle there. Walking straight on in through hookah, pick on towards site, game on.
And again, just a little caution shown on the side of Zeta as well. As soon as that first player falls, Aspas finds the first blood, and again, the Trailblazer goes through, but there's no real way for them to slow this down. I mean, the paint shell obviously stops things coming out of that smoke from CT. The molly to then follow up on that. Zeta just don't have a lot of options in this retake, to be honest with you. Unless it comes from, Crow and Depp making use of that Blade Storm. Almost locked down before the Spike's even making his way onto site. And bear in mind, Spike was not committed until Aspas had all this free space.
Yes,
because there was no re-challenge, that's when the information's relayed.
I don't think they even expected to have that much success, to be fair. And if he keeps getting away with this, it will command that someone from Zeta fills that void now. They have to respect this. Dangerous games being played.
Yeah, Laz nearly losing his life there. Obviously, 10's painter actually bounces across to the left. So that got forced into that position, but the pre-fire will remove him.
That would look good today. I'm going to be honest. I'm a bit... It's very early in the game, but the indicators I'm seeing from Loud already really very, very telling. But Zeta, not much of a purchase this time. It is just odds and ends, so take it for what it's worth. Pro already tagged up, gonna switch things out. And so much information revealed. This is just Zeta have no way in. There's not even a chance of chip damage just yet. No, not at all. Loud taking it to him. This is aggression. This is confidence, but it's not overdoing it. There's a little bit of temper to it. I like this so far. Sarsi Kana just in time, and Sugar Zero's giving himself a chance. Slim. And Loud aren't letting him take space. Look at this double stack walking through. He gets the one. The spacing's not great. Aspas is there now, costing them 3 lives. Sure, round on the board regardless.
A decent buffer though in terms of the finances. This is the one that Loud can build a little bit of momentum behind. Ultimate's coming online though for Zeta. There's an opener again with 10 just showing his positioning. Heads up pre-fire here to catch him. Yeah, actually on the other side of things, Loud have everything but the showstopper now. And this is the round that you might choose to invest a little bit. I mean, if required. It does have the operator online now. He's rewarded. He's trying to get ahead of this wall as well. Which Loud have used a couple of times just to creep up and try and play contact off of.
See how he fares here. It's a gamble. Now he's going to know obviously Fade is there. waits for it as long as he could, does eventually have to give up the angle. So once again, the early work is being achieved here. Dice these rounds up into a couple of moments. The shower fight, the fight towards short, the fights on towards long. This time a little bit of a switch up here. Laz committed towards the TP side and has support from Crow.
Curious to see here, actually, if this is a contact playoff. Laz's confirmation with a flash, maybe? Crow's got the fault line set up.
It's a gamble, though, and the timing. Laz makes a meal of it. This is. I'm going to be honest, that doesn't look good. And now the pressure's going to start mounting, coming in as well. Look who's flying on in! Aspas! Barely got his feet on the ground before he was left for dead. And now we're down to a 4v3. Sugar Zero, 10, and Dep still standing. But the plants in and the ults have already come out. You can see Sussy as well, all ready to go if they need it. No threats shown just yet. Sugar Zero warded away from CT. Is there any way back in?
You can already see as well, Pancada disconnected with this orbital strike, and there's no flank coming through, so the fact that the clock has run down this much already, Pancada just finds a blind one. 10 will fall. That should be the round done now, whether or not even these weapons are able to be saved as they'll try and challenge back through spawn. The operator, the one you ultimately want him to hold on to, but the flash is good.
Yeah, he's going to be hunted, and he's gone. Operator removed. Loud, I've got to say, it felt like it was all banking on long there, Mike.
Yeah, just to note one thing as well, Sanak actually puts a crucial flash to
As the
prevent...
rifles have come out to play, it's actually been quite clear-cut for Loud in my mind. It's not been particularly contested. So at this point, a little bit of a half-buy, really. Spectres, Stingers, and bits and pieces, but it's far from writing home about.
Look at the pinch.
They're trying it, but Loud just spin on a dime. Sassy unfazed by this, very, very cognizant. There's going to be further layers to it. 10, though, going to find connection. And then committing behind this. Sanak still standing. And there's so much damage everywhere. What an unorthodox fight. But the problem becomes that it's just 10 alive on 47 HP. With all that commitment. Can he get any more from this? Another kill would be beautiful.
I mean, Loud almost want to police these guns. They don't want to give 10 any opportunity here, but he's so low HP that...
And Sassy's
Sassy should catch it, yeah.
Well, I don't mind the attempt. I'd never mind the attempt on those sort of buys. Try something out, out of the norm. Try and bring something into play.
But that is the sort of thing you need to see in the buy rounds.
Yeah, you're right.
For it
You're
to be
absolutely
sustainable here on the defense, that's the sort of thing we need to see. Actually, even with Loud actually pulling hitting the panic button with the orbital strike to make sure that they can buy a little time to actually take these engagements. It's about the owner bonus to come out of that round loss on the side of Zeta.
Got to get fired up here, Mike. You don't walk in this map with this composition and then play it out in any standard fashion. You simply can't do it. I need to see them stand up to the challenge here. Early horn towards long, going to ensure that no one's crossed over towards that TP side. The flash to follow will now note 10. But the switch up on the sides, you can already see it in a fast rotation being considered. They're pulling this early.
And I mean, it's the same. You look at the minimap, it's a carbon copy. Spike not committed yet. This is just the early probe from Loud. And it's actually burning up so much util from Zeta's composition.
Look at this, really now, and they actually clear it. I like the commitment finally from 10. At least they're going to try and get value for all the utility committed and check on this. But they maybe overextend, maybe they get a little hungry for it, but Dep still want to keep this in check. Good trade to 4v3, finally advantage.
Great timing on the Seekers as well. For Laz to put that out then and just confirm that. Actually does find Pancada on the back of it, so great work from Laz. Actually anchoring a side, finds the second onto Les as well.
You could not ask for greater value from Laz, standing tall on his own here. Finally gets taken down by Sassy, but look at these targets. So many, and eventually the one on the left will probably be his downfall. If Dep dares to step further forward, but no. With 38 seconds, what does Sassy do? So much utility still to play with. A little bit of time, but not a lot. It's going around towards
30 seconds left.
Now, eventually 10 will turn.
I was going to say, where's that internal clock actually going to...
The second hand ticks and he turns, and now Sassy, he'd have to really outplay 10 here, and he's done just that, clean enough. 18 seconds, going to be able to clear close. Back of the box as well. Breach utility comes in. Buying precious seconds, 10 now remaining. Horn goes up. Does he get anything for it? Well, Swan, but the cross is being watched, and he predicts it, but the time is dwindling, and as are the bullets in the mag. Crow gets him, and, well, finally, Zeta hold on. But Mike, talk me through that round, because there's some differences here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. Zeta actually scrambled to take this fight on B side. As soon as contact's found, or at least there's presence shown on the other side, immediately 2 players sent across. And it's talking about the lack of an anchor. Laz still fulfilling that role here. Like I said, perfect timing on the Seekers to actually identify that split coming through from showers. Isolates Pancada immediately, less actually the freebie on the second. So great play there. there. And again, I love the commitment. As soon as they come through, the fault line's there. It's a hard
There's the
clearance
swing.
this time around. Yep. A little bit safer, playing a bit deeper in garden, actually. But that's the sort of thing we want to see from Zeta. Fancy back on this operator. Same position again. But he's pressured off.
I thought he'd have gone away with that, but you can see Zeta still trying to tender for this. Aspas outdone. Huge impact again and no trade available. That's a freebie. You can fall back from that. I like this play coming out from Zeta. This is a perfect adjustment.
Big tick in the box as well, identifying that more often than not, it's Aspas outside here. It's just a double swing from Hooker.
Here.
To remove him from that position.
Here.
An early advantage, actually, for Zeta in this round.
I've got your trail.
Seeker's on the outside going to come out. That's going to give Depp a little bit of timing to play with. Not too much anymore. This is precarious. Why are you out in the open? Les wants it and he gets it. Clutches down Depp. Now the ult going to come through as well. Buy a couple more seconds and maybe a little bit of an overreach there. Sassy going to punish Crow. Blaz on the trade. Sadek on the swing. Can't get to the back of the site. So hyper aware of it. It's time to run. Pull the plug and get out of there. But Pancada, can you just time?
He's got an operator, so if he gets pinched here.
They're on the TP. He's still alive, but only for a second. And now it's Sassy in a 1v3. Maybe a little more feasible this time. Horn back up in 4. He needs 1 for free. And to be able to keep his life, he needs no trade. Now the paranoia is starting to build. Surely he knows there's going to be 2 here. The timing on this utility, it's got to, yeah, he's got to know now. The flash goes in, doesn't find it. Spots 1, gets 1. The second, the spray, not good enough. 10 keeps Zeta in this. I think they want that operator. Going to go back for that. But Zeta are answering back. Mike, we wanted aggression. We wanted considered rotations. We are getting it.
Absolutely. And again, it's the decisiveness here coming out of Hooker, isolating Aspas, whether or not Loud are actually going to draw an extra player now, just to be conscious of this. This is the sort of thing, we're getting to the point of the half now where actually Zeta probably feeling as if they can disrupt a little bit on these defensive rounds. Well, Loud actually now lead heavier towards a single site in terms of orienting maybe an execute. Now actually, it's going to be starting to dwindle, but Loud, a little bit of an offer. Showstopper available for Aspas in 1. Zeta actually tapped out now, but Laz and Sugar Zero back on.
I'm looking at depth right here. I wonder if he commits a little deeper to this. They are at least going to prop up 10. Close him in towards the corner. He's going further, and that's going to be a shoulder shown, but he needs to respect this and back away. What does 10 do with this information now? Does he stick around longer, or does he respect this? You noted there could be even a heavier stack, and there is, leaving just 1 towards that B site.
Interesting thing, actually, Aspas not reacting upon that. The smoke going to slow things down, definitely in Hooker, but Depp and Crow in tandem make their way back towards B, anticipating Loud leaning back in this direction. Like I said, still no commitment from the spike. So Loud are just anticipating aggression, looking for this opening engagement, but finally stacking up now. Whether or not actually Sassy's going to post the Nightfall through here.
Here.
I mean, Aspas has still got double satchel here, so he could get himself onto site.
The timing of the flash, Depp has nowhere to go. He has to stand and fight this for now. Going to dip himself in towards the smoke and try and maybe depend on his teammates for a second. But Aspas did still have that pain shell. Going to isolate Crow. Trade comes out. Depp still standing.
Oh my God.
Depp still fighting. Huge pick towards Sassy. And they're holding in the front lines. Unbelievable. And Sadak's getting surrounded. He's got a player behind him as well. Sadak has nowhere to back to. He has to take the fight now. Oh, he tries to go for 10, but he's outdone him. And this is stabilizing work for Zeta. They needed this. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Beautiful adjustment from them. And being happy here to send both across after initially not being rewarded for the aggression on A short. They come through, and like I said, Depp and Crow getting themselves towards the site where actually this utility can come to fruition.
Nice.
Really, really well played.
Beautifully played. It's forced the timeout allowed. Really only Sassy on the decent buy. On the other side, look at the aggression again. Switch up this time. Going to post Depp towards long.
So many different looks.
Yeah, and brought into position by the flash too. So again, it's not without intent. Prowler goes through. Analyst desk getting rowdy down there.
Yeah.
Aspas forced off with the flash.
Launching smoke.
And Loud trying to get at least a read of the game. As it stands, filtering back towards that A site.
Toxins going up.
Set up this time around. Much earlier for Loud to collapse into this formation. This time around, actually, the fault line and the orbital strike, gambling on finding something with that stun. Smoke behind it. And now, actually, the clock becomes a little bit of a concern.
Certainly does. Walking in blind to this Laz is going to be standing. Okay, just a shot in the dark. Fair enough. Seeker's going to come out. That confirms everything. He goes back in. A little brazen for my taste into this, but 10, considering maybe taking the space into a shower, ensure some safety here because there's so much pressure coming through on short. 25 seconds, going to try some buy at least a little bit of time, but the Molly not going to really deny too much. Plant's now in. 10's position will at least keep some space here. This post plant won't be all that comfortable.
It really isn't, but even numbers at least. Not a lot of utility to work with as well on the side of Loud. Crow just about got his fault line back up. Tap on the spike. Actually doesn't even draw a peak just yet.
10? 10 just flew in, and Pancada makes light work of 2, leaving it all down to Depp. Where'd you find a fair fight here? You just don't.
No, back away. Try and hold on to this operator.
Yep.
Again, the economy comfortable enough, but don't really want to be giving this over to Loud as well, especially with some of these rounds playing out a little slower than anticipated. Nice conversion. The 10 just a little desperate to get ahead of that, and again, no flash to come through. There's not really much to work off there. The fault line being the only thing to put into that retake. A slower approach, but like I said, it felt a little awkward. The smoke goes up and Loud completely freeze almost. Yeah. And that's to the point where they got there with, what, 1:05 on the clock, and it's just the fault line, the orbital strike, the smoke behind it that buys basically 25, 30 seconds.
Now, going forward, though, at 5 to 6, this is the first answer back for Loud. It was those 3 that was strung together by Zeta that we were quite impressed with those adjustments because the scoreline was going to look quite drastic. The scoreline's actually still pretty good for Loud, you've got to say. Whichever way this ends, just purely from the gun rounds alone. But at this point, let's see what they've got here. Way higher pressure building towards the B side. Instantly, Zeta have to respect this. They've already forced back towards L, but they do not have enough to fight towards the site here. Aspas out. Site controlled. Spike should be able to be planted pretty much uncontested. There it is, time on their side. Loud just picking up pace here. This is much different.
Actually, a double flank coming through here. It's Depp and 10. Les is going to have his hands full here. Actually spots it out. Depp goes for the peak, but tagged up. 10 there to pick up the slack on the other side. That's actually both snake bites removed. Whether or not Les was going to rely on those in his post plant.
The gap's getting closed as well. 10 going to be here on the doorstep, knocking on the door. Pancada answers it, greets it with a smile, no problems there.
He's got his orbital strike.
Another chance, and you're right, another key tool ready to go if required. And Depp going to do everything he can. And can he find Sadak? The bomb flash is so good, he sends it to the dark.
He's got a strike!
He flies in! And he gets flown out. Sadak holds a nerve, and honestly, Loud. Big previous series that they played against Loud. I
think I have the same concerns, and it's once we get to the point where that plant comes through, if Loud opt for a deeper hold, actually they win out in the utility game, right? Hold that thought for a moment, because Zeta are straight up long here. It's a double stack in hookah. Sugar Zero will be identified on the outside of this. He's got to slip away, but he's actually marked here. He's going to have a lot of pressure coming through. Sassy finds the kill.
Yeah, he hunted him down. There was no escape from that. And with the plant now down, time good, but the positions, it's almost like a flip. Just spin it around. Laz, the timing's everything on this. Who gets it? Okay, spots maybe 2 there, I'm pretty sure. Flash comes in, going to buy some time. Needs to fall away, and actually leaves Depp to take up that mantle. Depp's still unfazed by this. Can get a little aggressive, the follow-up flash.
Utility.
So much utility, but no intent behind it yet. Pitch dealt with. Laz turns, takes down Sassy. Zeta holding the line, and Laz will not relent. Gorgeous work from Laz.
Wow.
Brilliant. Between those two, one to hold long, one turns around, catching the push out of Hookah. That could have all fallen to pieces, and it didn't.
I mean, you see the sorts of problems that Zeta have to deal with, right? If they can get the plant, what's difficult is maintaining control, right?
Yep.
But they actually weather the storm. All of this utility comes through. You notice all it takes is a fault line. There's nobody there to capitalize on the flash, the paint shell, the trailblazer. There's just no space gained on that retake.
Big round for Laz. Confidence builder there. Very aggressive start. You're going to be feeling yourself after that. And this could close the scoreline right back up. 7 apiece if they convert here. And it looks likely considering the purchase that will be obviously alongside Loud. So
and the setup.
Yeah. Hey, it's a gamble. It is what it is. Towards the side they go. Should be pretty much a free plant. Looking towards the timing on Hookah, maybe. They get caught out on that. 10. Going to be tried to be closed down on, but actually Crow, really nice support system there. Making sure there's no easy fight. And CT, it's not pretty. It's not pretty, gets the job done, Michael.
I think you thought you had a Spectre for a moment there, but it's the Prime Gaming flawless here in round 2. 5 alive. Carry across all this inventory and good ultimate progress early on for 2 people, Depp and Crow. You want to see actually in terms of... Okay. Once in the highlight reel.
They loved it.
The fans are on their feet. But yeah, just seeing the Rolling Thunder coming close, and obviously the Blade Stormers are actually potential to have this online for the next. Maybe to make use actually if they win this out, lose a couple of weapons. Just a couple of tools to offset that purchase. Zeta fancying their chances at B once again. We're not allowed to be able to this early on adjust and find some sense of security here. But Sadak to take first contact. He's actually peeking way ahead of the archway.
Depp's had to get out of there, but 10 quickly to the case. Less with the trade though, so no quick springboard towards the site. He has to pull away though. Will concede at least site control. You can see that deeper prowler coming out. They're trying to get that information on the other side. But the site is available. Quick TP taken, and Aspas going to take Sugar Zero's life. That's a little bit of this viability in half, but you're right. Does Aspas consider this timing? He was thinking about it because he noted the TP was taken earlier, but it's all a matter of moments. Spike now down, and Laz looking towards CT, and the timing's great. Zeta find 2 in combination on opposing sides of this post plant and bring it back to a favorable situation. HP not pretty though. Depp and Laz low.
We have to fight this one back through actually. Depp position behind here, and Loud just can't find any peaks. Zeta not giving anything away. Want to hold on to this post plant as best they can. Sassy and Pancada both out now. The first falls. The trade comes through. Last player, Depp, though. He's very low HP, 22.
What does he do with this? Sassy facing his fear. He's holding
Oh
it down.
my God.
He's not going to stop Sassy. Unbelievable. Taking his life in the end as well. And that's brutal for Zeta. That could have been a big round to pull this one right back forward.
But a great positive to see. Oh, we're talking about commitment with this composition. Immediately, they're looking to dive on that first contact. Can't remember who it was that got punished, I believe. Sad hack towards long on guarded. Immediately, as soon as that contact comes through, they're throwing bodies on to get that first blood.
And it's a burden they have to bear throughout this game, though. You choose this sort of composition, you cannot ever rest on your laurels. You have to be right back into the action. And well...
But look at the next one, though.
I mean, yeah. Who won the last?
On the side of Loud, actually. Not looking pretty at all. 1 rifle, a shorty, a sheriff, a frenzy.
God.
Expected to round things out. The Blade Storm online here. The Seekers as well. Again, Zeta lean heavily towards Fountain. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's 4 people here looking to pressure Sadak on long. He's going to get caught by the exact same fault line once again, Lauren.
Depp's got in, and you're absolutely right. He does get caught. They've sliced this map up, and the site's theirs. Depp's going to almost overdo this. He wants to hold CT, but that smoke will at least keep Loud safe for a second as they emerge from the smoke. Depp caught napping. Not good at all. Losing out to a frenzy, but 10 right on the case. Aggression brimming. And this purchase was not pretty for Loud. All function and no form. But this weapon deadly as ever. 45 HP though, not much to play with here. Gonna maybe clear towards top of B long. But any further would be highly unlikely.
Yeah, even here, Sassy's rifle recovered from the previous. Zeta actually going to be the ones to boom out of this in terms of holding on to what they've got. Sugar Zero and Depp actually at 4,200 after the spike plant comes through. Zeta going to be looking very healthy here. Actually, the next purchase could break Loud's bank, honestly.
See where we go for. See how it looks. I'm impressed so far. I think watching back the initial game with Zeta, I was worried about the aggression, the spacing, the timing, and finding confidence in a game like this when you've already lost to this opponent in a couple of very key areas. Seeing them turn it back here already, very, very much a tick in the box for me.
Losing to them though, but playing with no fear, right?
Yes.
Committing behind some of this, well, the few bits of utility they've got to do here is brilliant to see.
Full intent.
Actually, on the flip side of that, Sadak, as he learns his lesson now, this hold on B long has been concerning, to say the least. Like I said, there's so many bodies to collapse on it. This time around, doesn't want to die to that same fault line. And for the first time, actually, Zeta looking to explore elsewhere on the map. So you look for what this mid-round looks like for Loud, actually. Trailblazer dealt with outside hooker, so probably going to keep 3 players towards B. But presence shown on both sides of the map here. Zeta actually picked off a little ahead of the curve here.
Huge opener, and you can see Pancada just in panic mode, has to try and slip away from this. You probably have to fall all the way to CT here. Zeta have got the site. Crow's going to get the plant down. There's 4 to try and play back in. What do we have? One smoke, ult. Actually, a little bit of utility still left with Loud, so they do have the option to try and work this one back in. There's the ult going to come down, but you can already note it. Zeta sitting deep
wise
to this.
to it. Very wise to it. I think they've seen that that's up and they don't want to prioritize the lamp soul. Actually, the swing from Depp is no good. Punished by Sadak.
Yeah, but 10's still here, and 10 likes to turn it up. Turns it only into 1 kill. Quick trade comes out. Pancada still stands, and we got a 3v3. Let's look at those post-plant positions. Any late-game utility. Crow still has a little bit to bring into play. Notes the spike is no longer being committed to. The Molly's in. Crow's going to try and fight this one out, but it's all down to Sugar Zero.
The Molly's won the round.
At the time, they don't have it. They got to back away. TP out. Zeta taking the lead here.
Wow. Just comes down to the one piece of utility. It's something we keep harping on, but Zeta use it to convert this post plant. And the reason behind that is this is just held by 2 members allowed. One of them dies. Pancada, faced with a lose-lose situation in that. Has to back away, try and make use of his orbital strike. But like I said, great awareness from Zeta of exactly how to play this post plant. 0 risk from the orbital strike.
Love that awareness in pressure situations, though. Easy to make a couple of mistakes here and there, lose that little bit of focus in those moments.
The other thing as well, we're not seeing Zeta completely dive the backlines in these post plants, right?
No,
They're not getting overzealous. They're happy to actually slip back into a side hold, but
Hold on.
that's it so quickly.
Yeah, the decay's there as well. He's got to be really careful, just trying to keep his life. And actually, Aspas comes out the worst in this, down to 45, and somehow 10's in. A little bit of utility now committed, but it's Sugar Zero to find Aspas, and now look at the positioning. Zeta, once again, stranglehold on this map. The purchase was pretty brutal coming in, and there's the response, though. Orbital strike on the other side, now invested. You see the close coming in, a bit of a wrap here as well, but look at the 2 players deep towards short. That's Laz and Depp, and are they aware of this? Absolutely now.
Laz is posted for it as well.
Yep, waiting for it. It's not an easy way back in now. Nightfall going to come down, but they need to start this one fast. Good work, but a quick trade. And a better shot from Sadak comes out. Depp and 10 in unison. Sadak has no way in. Look at these positions. Still has a flash. Seek has plenty to play with, but it all feels irrelevant to outcome. As the time dwindles, he's trying to at least cause some casualties. A quick flash over the top, but he is getting out of there. It's going to be double digits for Zeta. And considering we questioned their attacking side, we questioned the composition, they have come out looking damn good.
Playing it to perfection, though. And actually, just to note as well, the Nightfall comes through to see as well. Wow. With how much pressure they felt on B long, the Viper's Pit's going to be invested here off the rip. Again, because it's been such a pressure point for Zeta.
And look
at the backstab.
He's found another way in 10.
Immediately.
Unleashing straight to CT. Overcooks it a little towards Pancada. But that's not even where they're going. They're still looking towards A. Depp striding in. And now there's got to be an answer. There has to be some stopping power coming through from Aspas potentially. Or that later position kicking in for Sassio towards Shower. Has the Haunt still to invest if he needs it. The plant just tapped, not committed, and the fight comes out. He draws out Sassy into the fight. Crow wins that, and now player advantage.
See, Pancada the one to find that, so no showstopper just yet, but it's online now. Actually immediately wants to rip it out. Aspas will find the one. There's Laz now in a 1v2. Actually, the flank coming through. Does he consider this?
When does he turn? Does he ever turn? He does.
He's turned the wrong way.
Him. He has no idea where Les was coming from. A shot in the dark and he goes astray. Loud. After what could have been a horrific start, that entry coming in, flying in, clearing sight, but the overpush towards CT kind of gave it away. But I don't blame him for trying it.
You can't fault it. The Viper's Pit gets invested here. You got to assume there's some space between the sites in terms of the setup, in terms of when that rotation is going to come through. So actually really unlucky for 10 not to get much deeper spawn control. And then at that point, Les is really feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's instantaneous decision-making from Zeta. They need to be. They can't afford to, slow play these rounds out. Especially with Loud definitely feeling the heat here in the second half. They have to be the ones that ultimately alter the outcome here. As I say that, Zeta will dial it back a little bit. Maybe wanted to bait a little bit off Sadak's flashes on long. And an attempt at denying some information here, and that's key. The Trailblazer got nothing. The second flash, though, will catch Fountain.
Not enough to pull a rotation, though. Still 3 players dedicated towards A.
Zeta are basically doing the same thing, but you know,
Prowler
30, 40 seconds later in the round.
Yeah.
And it's just a Prowler. All 3 players are rotating off A now.
Well, they had contact on short and contact coming in through long as well, so it makes perfect sense. 10, though, going to be the first one forward, trying to make them hemorrhage players, and he does. Finds another. His entry work has been sublime. The follow-up not so good. Les gets the better, and the spike's not down yet, so this is not as safe as they'd like it to be, but the plant can come through. And Crow's going to hold on to this, and it looks like Loud want to fight back right now. Paint shell towards the site. He's got a swing. Can he make anything of his life? No. And it's just a brutal battle, and Loud come out on top of this. Leaving Sugar Zero in a 1v4. The spike scene just being diffused in front of his face. There's nothing to say. It's 10-10. Louder back in the game.
I think the decision-making coming out of the timeout is first time you see somebody, let's send everybody there. Clear the site, even prevent...
Get out of my way!
And no alteration this time around. Laz actually a little disconnected here. We're playing outside showers, but immediately the flash from A site can cause a trade out of positions. Pancada actually picks up the backside of A site now, and I'm assuming Sadak's come across here to make use of that flash, but 10 punished immediately. Rifle recovered though, but it's Depp with the Blade Storm that picks it up.
Still looking at where they find entry to this. Steps in, gets towards site. Keep in mind where Laz is in all of this.
No rotation yet.
No.
Happy to give away the plant, potentially.
It feels like they have nothing to fight back into it with, so they're going to have to abscond from fighting towards site. Late Prowler comes in, but the late Lurk, I wonder on the timing of this. Laz could potentially find 2 of these players if he gets the timing right, maybe not. At this point, he's going to be too late, so this is going to hit towards long. Depth's now gone as is Sugar Zero. Loud composure is key and keeping poised in this. No stress just yet, and the last one alive is Laz. And with 0 vision on the spike, so little chance at this. And the bodyguards are on duty. Loud not taking chances. 5 standing. Perfect work from them. And just didn't look phased in that round.
No, and they're sitting much deeper on these sites. Now almost anticipating Zeta, replicating what they were able to in the first few rounds. And immediately here, even after creating the man advantage, they show a lot of respect to Zeta. They actually back away and wait till they have massive numbers advantage, even throwing the Seekers out here. That's something that you could argue with this matchup is quite surprising. I think that's actually dictated by how the first half went.
I think you're absolutely on the money with that. Now, this is the round that the timeout potentially should have been for if you're Zeta. This is the one you've got all your adjustments in mind with. Let's see what they've got here at 10-11. Loud on the verge. Stringing together rounds in the final hours of the first map. What does Zeta have to bring out now?
Slight pace changes towards A this time around. 3 players sent down B long, past Fountain, racing towards Market already. I mean, Laz is going to have his hands full here.
Laz, no! The beating heart of this team, Laz will not relent, goes back in for more, the flash to go as well. Laz is trying to lock this one down, leaving Aspas, Les and Pancada reeling off the back of this one now, isolated over towards T side, 2 tucks towards CT that can't make it back in now. And Laz can sit on this. The rest of Loud needs to be doing the heavy lifting here to try and find their way back in the timing. No, this could be heartbreak. Laz goes back and checks. Paint shell now committed. Laz has to fall off this. Responds with the flash to try and slow down the roll. Investment of utility. Aspas is drawing the attention. The rest of Loud are closing in, but Laz, heart still beating, still finding the kill. That's 3 this round, leaving just Les alive. And Zeta, I can't believe it. They might be pulling this one back to 11-11. It looks likely. Les can give it a try. He can try and catch him on the way out, and Crow says no. It's 11-11, Mike. It's closed up again.
I mean, switch him off the agent, but he's still fulfilling the exact same role. Delivering for Zeta there, finding 2 out of the 3 flanking players from now. This is absolutely crucial. And the key thing as well is, throws the Seekers out, maybe a little bit of an over-investment, but still buys so much time. He puts the pressure right back on Loud, which are only 2 on the other side of the map. There's not an awful lot you do. This is Laz single-handedly making sure they still have favorable numbers on site. Fantastic work from him.
But they're not out of the woods just yet. Bear in mind, Loud were stringing together rounds. Those 3 rounds look gorgeous with them. And now, perfect implementation of this Viper's Pit. Les could not have been in a better position for this one so far. You know, the...
Going exploring elsewhere, though.
Aspas. And does Zeta, does Zeta even consider this? Do they clear back through this? They look quite meticulous in approach. They're being cautious, and rightly so. Let's see how well they clear back through here.
Problem being, if they find contact, the Rolling Thunder can be posted here immediately. Well, not Sugar Zero is going to actually does show a little bit of discipline here.
Wow.
You can see immediately, actually, Crow considering it, but...
The forethought to do that is wonderful. And do they... Yeah, they're picking up the pace on the back!
They catch a Sassy! Oh my
You
god.
almost had him dead to rights. Aspas, Sassy, and Pancada now sweating bullets on the side until they commit to the back of this Aspas. He's got the wall in front of him, does get caught, gets thrown up in the air! They've just traded! Sugar Zero going to take down Sassy, but there's still
Oh my
someone
god!
among us here! Aspas, how are you like? Oh my god! Aspas! How has he found this many kills here? And he's gotten away with his life! Gone out, he finally goes down! Still doing damage in a 2v3! Dep needs a miracle now! Sugar Zero on 30 HP, Pancada's there, it's surely gonna be 12! Dep, do you have it in you? 20 seconds, 3 to find! And Aspas just murdered your team! He's being surrounded, he can hear the steps, he can see the players, Lau gonna make it to 12! How did Aspas do that?
I actually think they clash into each other mid-air. And then somehow Aspas, because he's traded places, but he's gone into the smoke where Zeta are stacked behind.
Yep.
What a ridiculous play.
Show me this.
Oh my god. I mean, Crow's actually blinded back and away, backpedaling
Oh
here. This
my
kill,
gosh.
then the showstopper to come through. Absolute heroics from Aspas.
Lucky.
You can see as well the difference. Yeah, Sassy, absolutely mind blown.
Take them when you get them. They're few and far between those sort of rounds, but what a time for it to hit for Loud. 12 now on the board. Map 1. Not done yet, but looking better, and Zeta once again picking themselves up, trying to have this aggressive approach, and they have the players now relatively deep, but Loud are so prepared for this depth, and 10 go down. They've lost their front line completely. And this is where the issues really start to mount. The spike left loose, and Les filling that gap. Static by his side. Zeta now down to just 1, and Laz is dead and buried. Loud pick up map 1 in.